President, the scenario we all feared and advocated to avoid has now become a horrifying reality. The rapid support forces have seized control of El Fasher after more than 18 months of an inhumane siege marked by starvation, suffering, and despair. This deeply worrying development is a brazen defiance of this Council Resolution 2736 that demanded last year the lifting of the siege on El Fasher by the RSF. It represents also a dangerous step toward the fragmentation of Sudan. And if only the suffering and the dare, the RSF advances in Sudan, particularly in northern Darfur and Kordofan state, have unleashed an avalanche of brutality against innocent civilians. Worse than we could have ever imagined. The images we have seen and the report we received during the last 72 hours are simply appalling. We have seen a powerless mother clutching her child, waiting for two merciless RSF armed members to take her life and the life of her little one. Let's just imagine for a second the pain of this innocent and helpless mother. We received reports about the killing of more than 460 patients. Where 460 patients and their companion by the RSF in a maternity hospital offered by Saudi Arabia. A place meant to heal, not to kill. A place meant to give life, turned into a massacre site. Colleagues, El Fasher is bleeding. El Fasher is calling for justice. El Fasher is calling for a strong reaction from the international community. Can the deliberate slaughter of innocent ever be a path to legitimacy? Is it how authority is gained through terror and annihilation? This Council cannot and must not remain silent. These atrocities cannot be met with indifference and procedural caution. The RSF have to be held accountable for their violations and atrocities. Accountability is a strong deterrent, and this very Council must ensure that the RSF does not continue to kill and brutalize innocent civilians with impunity. Mr. President, allow us to underscore 4 points. First, we condemn in the strongest possible terms the violation and atrocities committed by the RSF, including its ethnically motivated attacks. The violations committed in Al-Faser are not sudden. They are the result of months and months of a passive approach from the international community, watching the tragedy unfold in slow motion. The Security Council, our Security Council, has a responsibility to protect civilians in Sudan, and we must deepen our efforts to this end. We therefore call for full accountability and the use of all existing mechanisms to bring those committing this crime to justice. Second, could any of this have happened if there were no foreign interference in Sudan? Could any of this have happened if there were no foreign interference in Sudan? Those providing external support to the perpetrators of these atrocities, namely the RSF, including through the supply of arms and mercenaries, are unfortunately enabling the slaughter of the Sudanese people. We reiterate our call for the firm and public condemnation of foreign interference in Sudan. In this regard, we welcome the communiqué adopted yesterday by the African Union Peace and Security Council, calling on various African Union organs to identify external actors supporting the parties to the conflict in Sudan. Attribution is a critical step toward accountability. Third, President, there is no military solution to the conflict in Sudan. Only dialogue, only negotiation can bring peace with the support of the African Union and the United Nations through the personal envoy of the United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Ramtan Lamamra. We call for the immediate cessation of hostilities in and around Al-Faser to pave the way for a negotiated settlement of the conflict. In this connection, we firmly condemn the establishment of a parallel governing authority in areas under RSF control, which risks further fragmenting the country. The Jeddah process and other regional mechanisms, particularly the AU frameworks, must be urgently revitalized. Fourth, priority now must be given to protection measures for civilians and humanitarian workers. We call for the safe and unimpeded passage of those fleeing the city of El Fasher. Humanitarian aid and unhindered humanitarian access to reach those in desperate need and avoid any further loss of life. To meet the urgent humanitarian needs, it is crucial to rapidly scale up funding for life-saving assistance and humanitarian response plan. In conclusion, President, we reaffirm our commitment to the sovereignty, unity, and the territorial integrity of Sudan. We also reaffirm our commitment to sustainable peace in Sudan that is Sudanese-owned and the Sudanese-led. Enough suffering in Sudan, enough bloodshed. It's time for restraint. It's time for reason. It's time for peace. I thank you.